Today's Mob Rules is brought to you by Friends Helping Friends in the Snow.
I'll sweeten that up. That's very specific.
Gay.
I don't think so.
Gay?
I said friends helping friends, not friends humping friends.
Oh, okay. I misheard.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, welcome to Mob Rules. 3 weeks for 3 now. Quality declining every time. I am John, joined, of course, by...
Danny?
By Danny and Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, me. I'm Dave. Sorry.
So he was too busy helping, finger quotes, friends
Right.
in the snow. By snow,
Whatever that
he means
means.
butt.
I think that's the accepted nomenclature now for butt.
Yeah.
That's what the kids are calling it.
Yeah.
Snow.
Taking them
Yeah.
to Valhalla.
I thought snow was code for cocaine.
I'm going to give you the
Nose
best blizzard
candy.
you've ever had.
Oh.
A snow job.
I'm going to give you a snow cone.
Why do they call him Snowball?
Dave.
What? That's, yeah.
Gross.
that's Clerks.
But gross. Hey, what you guys been up to?
Oh, man. Danny, what have you been up to?
Yeah, what you been up to? Danny?
Like literally nothing, honestly. Nothing like
That's
game
not
related,
true.
right?
You're
I've been
like,
really
Jesus
busy.
Christ, guys, it's been a week. Come on.
Give me a break already. Jeez. I haven't not actually built a model since the Great Earthquake,
The Wrathquake of
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
The Sinpocalypse of
Oh.
Anchorage.
Yeah. I'll be uploading a picture of my game room tonight for everybody to see so they can see what I'm dealing
I
with.
really wanted to take a picture for our Vigilus reveal video. You know, I had it in my head that Danny was standing in front of his open door. I was going to clean my room, but instead I got the Vigilus book to review. So fuck that.
See, my idea, but I don't think Danny was emotionally ready for it at the time.
He was not.
Was the sad music, you open the door and you just see kind of the trashed game room. And as you start sifting through the wreckage, you find the Vigilus book in there.
Oh, that's where I put this.
Might as well talk about it. And talk about it you did. I want to say I love the fact that you guys, Dave, you produced and Danny started 2 educational videos.
Did you air quote produce? Because you really should have.
Dave actually did. He did a really good job.
Yeah.
He kept me on topic.
Two books or 2 videos
Oh, thanks.
about Vigilus Defiant. One about the narrative campaign. One about the more competitive side of the book. And I think it's really telling when one of them is like 3,500 views and the other is 72.
Yeah, we actually did 3 videos. One was about his dog drinking water for 4 minutes.
Oh my God, the dog is so loud.
Could you just like put a video of his dog Fred drinking water for 4 minutes? We'll put like really dramatic music in the background and just like ramp it up and ramp it up and ramp it up.
Only if you Photoshop a commissar head on top of him. So
Yeah, I
it'll be
didn't
relevant
actually
to
film the
podcast.
dog. You just hear the audio. And
Oh,
just,
man,
And
just
then you hear us
drowns out
laughing
everything.
after about 2 minutes.
Yeah, because we're like, oh my God, will
Come
it
on.
end?
Come on. How are you? He's
And then he
just like,
stops, right?
Yeah.
To like catch his breath and then starts again.
Oh,
I was like, well, that's 10 minutes of video.
should've-
It's wasted.
you should put it in. My dogs make cameos on this all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thought about putting it as an outtake just at the very end. Just he's like, and then on Vigilus.
Now, Dave, I don't know if you listened to the podcast, but I did add an outtake in the last episode we put out.
I was so tired of doing so much.
I didn't finish it yet.
Yeah. So after the music cuts, I put the conversation we had while I was looking for music.
Oh,
Nice.
So if you guys managed to survive to the very end of it and you listened to that little conversation between Danny and Dave, that was like the last minute and a half while I was searching for music for Danny's hot takes. I could not use the first minute and a half of it due to copyright issues because you played a song on your phone that every microphone we own picked up. but yeah,
stereo, so it's
the
perfect.
rest of it got put on there. Yeah, really shitty tinny stereo.
Perfect.
Hey, we played a game Friday night though, Danny, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. We played Blackstone Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
How did it go?
It was good.
How many levels did you make it through?
One.
Yeah. Yeah, one combat, right? And then we did a couple of encounters otherwise.
Yeah. So like from the encounter deck, we got the first floor, and then we were like, we'll keep going, and we went to the second floor, and then it reduced our party to just me and Danny, against like.
Oh, and I was so hurt.
He was so hurt. He had like one wound left, which means
did John steal all the glory points or something?
No, John died.
No, I died too. We went up into this tiny ass room.
Oh, not emotionally hurt. Physically, your model was physically hurt. Sorry, my mistake.
But it was like a almost 6 hexagon by 6 hexagon room.
Yeah.
Which had like 4 beastmen and 2 chaos marines in it.
Yeah.
It was like, let's try the hardest monsters that we can in here.
Yeah, and Danny was the Eldar Ranger, and I was the priest. So we weren't necessarily kitted out to survive rapid fire
live.
bolters.
To live at
Beastmen.
Hey,
close
the
range.
Emperor
Yeah.
protects, man.
But yeah, we all survived, apart from my wife, who was playing with us, and she rolled for her wounds and died. And we're like, hey, so you didn't roll that, right? She's like, no, I did. And I'm like, no, because if you'd rolled that, you would die, and all of that stuff you got would be gone too. And she's like, oh, but yeah, I died. I'm like, no, you didn't. Just
Okay,
you're alive.
you're dead.
Poor sweet girl. Insists on following all the rules.
Those Trader Guardsmen were brutal, man. And
Oh,
they
man.
kept coming back.
Dude,
Coming back.
So I watched them play it on Blackstone Friday, on Warhammer TV. 4 people playing, 1 person running the bad guys, and their first encounter was the Trader Guardsmen, and they got messed up. And I was like,
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I sure hope the Trader Guardsmen have 40k stats like that, because that was brutal looking.
Well, yeah, because we pulled like the first 3 encounter groups was like 8 guardsmen, 7 guardsmen, 8 guardsmen. Luckily, we only had 16 models on hand, so we ran out very quickly.
Right, yeah, we didn't have enough.
But
guardsmen.
they still, oh my god, they still just trashed us so quick.
Yeah, and then like 4 of them came back one time, and then like we killed the entire group, and then like several of them came back, like from hidden corridors. Oh my god, it was bad.
Yeah.
So, but it was a blast.
Yeah, it was good fun. We kept our character cards, used little pockets. We'll keep going.
Nice.
We all survived, so we'll be delving back in to try and make it past level 0.5.
Right, next time, well, we won't split the party.
Yeah, we split. Yeah, we split
Oh,
the party.
no.
I went 2 and 2. We should have.
That's
because
RPG 101. You never split the party.
the way the level was set up, or the combat was set up, was like 2 narrow, like Y-shaped corridors, like 1 hex wide, going off of each side. So we're like, well, we'll split 2 and 2, because otherwise we're going to spend a whole lot of time moving, and like, we're going to get kind of stuck. So that's kind of why we decided to do that, but it really didn't work out. Danny went with Nate, who was the tanky robot. I went with my wife Amanda, and she was the Kroot Shaper, our hunter dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, those were not good pairings.
Yeah, it should have been you and the robot, I think, because you could have healed the robot really easily, and then he's hard to hurt.
Yeah, so we could have
So-
tanked him, and then you could have hung up behind, just taking pot shots from far away. And I think the same with Amanda
Yeah,
too.
that's
With that
what you
Kroot
should have
guy.
been doing.
But
Yeah.
hey, live and learn. It was like our first kind of play now,
Yeah.
and it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun.
So I did shank some guardsmen with my power knife.
So did you have somebody running the bad guys? 'Cause
No.
I believe I told you ahead of time that I feel like the game probably is more fun with one person just being the bad guy.
You know
in
what?
general.
It was kind of
I
fun.
don't know.
The way
Yeah?
we did it, because it has this table on the back of every card, which shows you like the random way that they interact, and it makes sense the way they do it. And then you get to do fun stuff like when it was my turn to control the bad guys. I like our buddy Nate had done something to piss me off the turn before, so I decided to bring back the flamer and put it right beside him.
Oh god.
And then he repaid the favor with like the really high wound sergeant.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, I think there was some fun to that too there, and that kind of made it a little bit more because we were 4 different characters, right? So like Danny was like his Eldari. We had an Imperial priest, a Nada AI, and we had a Kroot. So it was like, why would all of us be working together? So
Yeah.
there was like a little bit of that. Being like, hey man, please don't put a flamer back down right beside me.
And then John sold off my like remnants of the fall that I've been looking for.
Oh yeah, there's I got a piece of Archaeotech called Remnants of the Fall, which is legitimately a win condition for Danny's character. But I sold that for like some real good stuff.
Yes. Games with friends.
Oh yeah, but yeah, we'll return and we'll play some more. Like I said, I think it's a really solid little system.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I like that it was harder than the Silver Tower.
Oh, it was so hard.
Yeah,
I think the hardest part was setting up the combat.
Oh, the room.
Because it starts off with just this little like 4-hex triangle, and you put all your guys in there. And then when you pull a combat card, it shows you the layout that you have to set up. And I think we spent like 5-6 minutes trying to figure out which piece goes where and how it connects.
It took us a hot minute.
We did it faster than the Warhammer TV demo one that they had Becca Scott do. Because we looked at them doing it and it took them longer.
Yeah, they had to fast forward.
So they had to fast forward it. We didn't fast forward our life.
I wish.
It's a good thing you should have recorded it. So, I mean, not video,
no.
just audio.
Yeah,
just audio.
Well, maybe because we just drank 4 Loco and played our crazy.
Yeah, that was a big part of it too.
It was a big part of it.
Oh no,
we brought the 4 Loco cans in. Nate brought embarrassingly oversized Reese's peanut butter things, which made us sound like dogs when we ate stuff. Because it was just 2 minutes of what are you guys doing?
So much peanut butter.
So much peanut butter. It was disgusting, but I couldn't stop eating them.
Yeah, no, they're good. Oversized Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
I mean, oversized peanut butter
Sorry.
covered in chocolate cups.
Yeah, dude, they were.
Cut
it
out
was
that.
mostly
Cut out
peanut
that.
butter.
It was
product
mostly
placement.
peanut butter.
Yeah.
So, on a non-hobby front, I've been feverishly looking over leaks for chapter approved and trying to figure out what army I'm going to bring.
I think
to
you just
Vegas.
mean reveals at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, I really dislike the term leak because especially when GW is working with a community and actually sending out copies for people to look at and review and share, like saying, "Hey, this all leaked out." Like, no, they sent a guy a copy of the book and said you can talk about it after this date.
Yeah, but we saw it before the date, right?
Yeah, I know.
Some people did.
Some people did.
Oh yeah, not us though.
We're still waiting for.
Yeah, we're still waiting for our copy. That's fine though.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that they thought of us.
I know. Yeah,
I'm
we're happy just to be considered.
That's right.
We're like the perennial runner-up.
So to let people know, we had the terrible earthquake, and we received our email saying, hey, this is you're getting a review copy of Chapter Approved and Vigilus. They're on their way, which is how everything comes to us. And then we had a big ass earthquake, and I was like, well, I didn't get it today, and big ass earthquake. I'm not getting it today. No problems. Didn't get it Monday. And so enough time had passed, and I was like, "Oh man, the earthquake really messed up the mail system,"
Right.
And because we hadn't got mail at work either. There was nothing. So,
well, there was the 2 days that were closed, right? And then also since
that was when
former President Bush died, they were off on Wednesday too.
So, because Wednesday was a federal holiday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
It was a federal holiday. I thought it was Thursday.
No, it was Wednesday. They only got back to work on Thursday.
Long story short, our mail's been screwed up this week, hardcore. So we will be talking about Chapter Approved in a little bit more in detail, but I want to be talking about it when we're looking at a book and not when we're...
for sure.
Which we might be at the same time as you guys.
When we're when we're looking at spiky bits to make fun of them.
I think my favorite thing about this whole thing was like on that Warhammer 40K for Whiners group, I replied something, and someone said, "Yeah, it seems like GW will give any second-rate podcast a copy of something." I'm like, "Ooh, you cut me with your accuracy." I said something like, "Oh, I know you listened to us because you didn't call us complete shit."
Yep.
And he was like, "No, you guys learned to edit." Callback jokes.
Wow.
Now we definitely know you listen.
Yeah, because I don't edit. But that's a lie. I've edited twice this month now.
Nice.
Yeah, I added a record scratch.
Oh, yeah. Right, I forgot.
Yeah, I cut out a couple of minutes while I was like, I should add a record scratch here. And we're like, ha, ha, ha. I cut that out.
That's the one thing I'm missing is sound effects. I need to get some sound effects.
Oh, yeah, no. If you do that, I literally have no purpose here.
No, I mean for the videos that for when I edit videos. Because I find myself going, man, this would really be good with a...
Dave, are you going to turn your painting into like a fucking Looney Tunes adventure?
No, from now on I'm doing Danny's hot takes from now on. I'm not doing unboxing anymore. I'm just going to show up at his house with a with something and go, hey, guess what?
Better show up with a bottle of wine for his wife then. Hey, yeah. So Dave. Oh, actually, we're talking about chapter approved, and I got disturbed. So yeah, you're still finalizing, Danny. You're going to LVO.
Yeah.
You're competing in the championship against 18,000 other people at this point.
Yeah,
808.
I mean, close.
Is it up to 808 actually? Mm-hmm. Whew. Because last it was at 650.
So
after refunds?
Yeah, dude. So you can still get in if you want. I think
Don't
if you
tempt
ask
me.
them, I think they'll put you in. I'm
gonna sound good right here talking mad smack about how I'm gonna play it, but I'm not doing that. I bought really expensive painting classes.
Okay, that's cool.
I bought really expensive non-refundable painting classes.
From Caleb Wissenbeck?
No, Sergio.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And then some GW ones with Cody because he wanted to do GW ones. So
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Are they with Duncan?
no, it's Peachy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, at least
Also
you got the
good.
cheaper of the two.
It's the second rate.
It's for our second rate podcast.
I want anytime Peachy talks to remind people he actually taught Duncan how to paint. I'd
Right,
be like,
right.
just have this disclaimer at the start of his things, like, just before you all say this is not the second rate class. I taught that bastard everything he knows.
So having watched, obviously I've watched their stuff to just look at it and go, well, I can rip that off for Tabletop Plus and make it better.
And then you just you film reaction shots of your face and then intersplice it with their footage of them painting models.
Yeah. With my voice.
Sorry, my face is really expressive.
It's great radio.
But like watching Peachy paint is more realistic looking and more hold on, not realistic, more Joe Schmo.
Sure.
His
Down to earth.
Down to
How
earth.
about achievable?
Believable. Yes,
Achievable.
achievable. That's it exactly.
So are you
Whereas-
going to like hang out over his shoulder?
No.
Like,
Be like,
rest
oh.
your chin on his
No,
shoulder?
I'm gonna
You look down at his model and be like, oh man, that's so achievable. But you gotta say it like achievable is a
That's
dirty
hella
word.
achievable.
I'm gonna walk in and go, hey Peachy, you weren't at Warhammer World when I was there. You were on vacation with your wife and kids. But when you came back to a giant ass bag of tea. That was me.
Oh, nice. Just
I
remind him what you did for him.
Yeah, I will. I'll be like,
Did you
so
say it?
how about you get out of the chair and let me teach the class?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, because that'll go.
Because that's what people paid money for, right?
And
man.
that was how we lost our partner.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks,
Worth.
Dave.
I'm looking forward to meeting him. I had Phil get a picture with him last LVO
Oh, nice.
for me, and he got a picture with him and Rue,
Okay.
who I then actually played against at Warhammer World when I played.
Oh, cool.
And Rue was like, "Oh, that picture was for you." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I took so many pictures, I don't actually remember." I was like, "I didn't figure
But
you
it
did."
sounds like he cared.
Yeah, it sounded like he cared. For
I remember
a second.
when I went to LVO, I got the mini wargaming guy
Yeah,
to
you
call
got-
Phil a dick.
And now Phil, now Phil's
Man.
hanging out with him. Dave,
Yeah.
Dave from Mini War.
Yeah, Dave for mini wargaming. I was like, hey, can you call my friend Phil a dick on video? And he did, and I sent the video to Phil. That's at Glacial Geek.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's hilarious.
So you're finalizing your list,
I'm
and right
giving
now you're
myself-
going Harlequins,
Well,
right?
Until-
I mean, he's not finalizing his list
Wait,
at this
wait, hold
point.
on,
He's finalizing his faction.
What I'm taking.
Right now, you're currently leaning towards Harlequins, right? Because
I mean-
if you win it, if you do really well with Harlequins, you're going to be in first place and take home that trophy.
Yeah, but I also want to like do really well
And
at
then
LVO.
it'll respect the podcast.
And I think that well, I'm going to respect the podcast. So my goal, like, it would be awesome to win a faction, right? Like, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would rather try and get a higher score overall in the ITC. Like, I really want to be in the top 100. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but last year I was like 105. And so I really want to like up my game and make it to that next next year.
You're from this backwater state that's not even connected to land.
That
you know?
everybody thinks is a joke.
Sure.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, I do.
I mean our meta and our play style, even though we have top ranking players in all factions.
Yeah, man, we do pretty good. But at the same time,
I mean, we got top Space Wolves. I mean, it's not hard. I mean,
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we've got top Space Wolves, like close to top Blood Angels and Death Watch and Renegades
and Heretics
and
yeah.
Space Marines and
Tau, because nobody plays tower.
I would be top Corsairs if you could legally field an army.
Oh yeah, dude, man, what a cool army that would be if you could take an HQ choice.
Oh man, good thing Forge World fixed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like
moving on.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna play. So somebody released a picture in one of my groups today of the Frontline Gaming terrain with that hangar, and I don't know if you've heard any of the controversy about this.
It's very controversial.
But this thing is like 18 inches long and 12 inches wide.
Yeah.
And like it's well over 8 inches tall, I think.
It hides a Castellan.
You can hide a Castellan behind it.
Yeah.
But isn't that good?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love that part of it.
Because you're negating 800 points of or 700 points of their army if you move a deploy right and making them move and check and find you.
100%. However, it also means that you can hide like 1,000 points of your army inside of that bunker,
and they can't
with
get
no
in.
reprisal, and like potentially you can't get into the bunker. So, like that part has me nervous, I would say.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm hoping we don't run into that particular piece of terrain in the doubles tournament that we're participating in.
Oh, almost certainly you will.
God damn it.
I mean, I will
'Cause
say it kind of
it'll-
goes back to the thing of having that conversation before your game,
So-
of defining terrain with your opponent.
Reese is going to put down a piece of paper on every table that describes how that all works.
He's going to take a picture of it.
Yeah, and then
With the
right.
piece of-
Of how the table is supposed to look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then write descriptions of all the different pieces
and
of terrain on
post
that
it
table.
before and then have it at the LBO because there'll be people that obviously aren't part of Comp 40K or any of the other
for sure.
Facebook groups.
So, like that being said, how it was played before at SoCal Open was it was like a ruin, but since it had no windows or doors, only infantry could walk through the walls. So if you had anything like a Custodes jet bike or
That's what scares me about it.
like you can't go inside of it, so you have to clear it with infantry. So like looking at that stuff and also all the other enclosed buildings that generally speaking Frontline Gaming like produces and like they will use at that event, I think armies that can storm a building are going to be the ones that like win. So you're going to have some kind of close combat infantry element. And so so with that in mind, I'm trying to decide between playing Imperials, Tyranids, or Orcs.
What kind of Imperials? AG or AM? Astra Militarum?
Probably a bunch of different stuff.
Okay,
If
so
it's going to be
a
soup
soup
for sure
list.
if I'm going to play Imperials because
I was
that's the
going to
best
say
part
he
of
said
the faction.
Imperium. That's
Well, he said Imperials, so
Sure.
oh
So like
wrong universe, dude.
sorry, Imperium. So probably like something like an Adeptus Mechanicus, for like battalion and or two, and then like some kind of Space Marine battalion or Custodes battalion or something like that I can use to storm a building.
nice.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna play around with some stuff. I'm gonna try out a list on Wednesday and see how I feel about that. But the list I do want to try out, I'm gonna try on Wednesday, has 20 Deathwing Knights.
That's not. You're not seriously thinking about taking that to LBO, are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good, man.
I know they're good, but you won't be able to go into the buildings and.
With Deathwing Knights, they're
Yeah.
infantry.
Oh.
That's
Sorry. I was thinking that
The white
thinking
ones.
Black Knights.
Yeah, I was thinking Black Knights.
So Deathwing Knights are the Terminators
Yeah.
with the maces and the storm shields.
Yeah, no, those are sexy.
and the feathers
And the feathers and robes.
Still have
and
feathers.
the robes. They
So-
got to.
Yeah, because they're Deathwing.
They're from the planet. Talking.
God damn it.
Two heads talking, man.
Fucking Slick Weasel and shit, whatever their names are. Anyway,
And Slick Weasel actually was one of the names. Good job.
Interrogator Chaplain
job.
Slick.
all right, so that's my week. Dave, what have you been
Dave,
up
what's
to?
your week been up like?
Oh man, I have. Well, obviously I filmed with Danny, and oddly enough, I was nervous filming with Danny because, I didn't want to ride him and tell him that he was doing stuff incorrectly. And
he
that's
gets
not the
off
way.
on that.
Right.
So
I
hard.
didn't want to. I had a vision, but I wanted him to have a vision of his own as we were doing it. Does that make sense, Danny?
Sure.
Yeah. I didn't want to chide you into doing what I wanted to do. So in the end, what I just did was like, you're doing great. Do this instead. And you were like, oh shit, that makes perfect sense. So it worked. But
I'm pretty open to feedback.
I didn't want to treat you like anybody else may have treated anybody else. Sure. On the podcast before. But So we did that, and then I edited the shit out of it. And then I uploaded just your hot takes logo, which was a big old fucking mistake, and shared that around to everybody. And then I left while the other video was rendering.
Yes, editing. That is our one drawback. Editing and accurate uploads is a staple of mob rules.
I'm
It
driving.
wouldn't be mob rules without that.
Yep.
It's 1 a.m. I've still got 30 minutes left on the rendering of the big video, and so I'm
It's technically 9 a.m. in the UK, so you done fucked up.
yeah, I was good.
Yeah.
So I drove down the road to get a soda because it was, late. And suddenly my Facebook Messenger lights up. Was this a joke? 11-second video? Oh, guess Mob Rules didn't get a copy. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh shit, that's a really good idea though. We should have just done a chapter approved review we just like saying like why the mailbox, just opening it and closing it and walking away.
Shrugging our shoulders.
Well, hot takes. Yeah, I'm sure it's good.
Yeah. So I turned around, raced home, realized what I had just uploaded your hot takes intro.
I
And
mean,
that's it.
by
Just
the way,
just
that intro is sexy as shit.
I want to just point out we're very thankful for everything we get, and we're just making light of a difficult situation.
Oh yeah. and multiple thanks to Cody who sent me 2 videos. One that was Danny's hot takes and one that was Danny's hot cakes because he was.
Why did you guys use the wrong one then?
Because he didn't actually fully send me the actual video for that. He was like, I think I'm going to edit it to put a pancake rolling past in the background. And I was like, please God, dude.
Please God, do.
Yeah.
Is that a fat joke?
So good, so good. But yeah, actually had a great time listening to Danny talk about it while I was sitting there. It was just so I couldn't see the book, right? I could only see Danny, and you were talking to me most of the time because
Sure.
you weren't on camera.
Well, I was just looking at what was there, and you're a person. It's easier to look at you
Right.
than the wall.
I like to feel like I was important.
That's not what his wife says.
Thanks.
She says I am a wall.
But your infectious joy for the stuff you were reading and the way you were getting excited had me so hyped for shit that I was like, I don't even play orcs and I want to buy a Stomper.
I mean, thank God we didn't have him review the Tau Codex then.
Yeah.
You'd probably own a tower.
Yeah.
on me.
No, there's
No, you'd be like,
chance.
it's okay, I guess.
I mean, unless your review is just all about stealth suits, because they're
Gucci.
still
They're
Gucci.
Gucci, yeah.
Still says Gucci.
Well, that was like my strength, I would say, when I did retail with GW stuff. Like I was able to push that stuff like crazy.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
like-
hyped.
Yeah.
Hyped for it.
And now GW gives away a free model at first to get you hooked, and then you come back.
That's right.
That's right. I love me some Stormcast.
So I did that. I missed out on Friday night Blackstone Fortress because I had some other stuff that I needed to take care of.
You know what, though? Dave was the only one at this table who played in a tournament last week.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, nice
did.
job by the way, dude. I
Yeah,
didn't
way
tell
to
you that.
represent.
I mean, I did okay. So I took 6th out of 80.
Divide by 10.
Divide by 10.
Oh, sorry, 0.6 out of 8.
I took 6th out of 8. I played my first game against Kevin Mackey, who was our perennial fancy player's opponent, apparently.
Sure. And an excellent Death Watcher
And,
player.
and an excellent player. And we had a great game, just an absolute blast. I tabled him. But
every time I play against him, I have a great game.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's
We
such
just-
a nice guy.
we just had such a great game, and I learned some actual stuff about Deathwatch that I didn't know that I can't wait to pass on to Cody, such as bolt pistols get the special ammunition.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
And I know because he killed my goddamn captain in close combat with him.
For real?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
And you know what's great about him as well is like he's always super hyped for everything that happens. If you're like, hey man, I'm going to fire my 2 storm cannons on this Leviathan at your last surviving character, and you're going to be able to like, oh man, awesome.
Let's
do it.
go.
Let's do it. And I'm like, I appreciate your levels of hype.
I had Celestine, who I painted up, performed amazingly well. It's the last time I'll probably ever get to use her because with the new beta codex stuff that they...
She's still super good.
She's still super good, but she loses the Axe of Faith. Which is...
She gets some other stuff though.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
And she dropped 40 points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that I do know.
She lost some weight.
I'm
Lost some Gemini.
It's a backup dancers.
honestly, my whole LVO doubles list is completely up in the air, just like yours is right now. I've been painting custodes, but I'm kind of like, if I could take Celestine as well, I might, with her going down so much.
Giggity.
So I
Saint Celestine is a saint.
So I was tied for first place going into game 2 against John Miller, who I've never played, but fans of the podcast.
Perennial second place to Danny.
Yes, perennial second place to Danny. Fans of
At
the
this point, I
podcast-
believe Danny could take 1,000 points and Miller could take 2,000 points, and he'd still psych himself out of a victory.
it's possible.
He's in my pocket.
Yeah. What did you take? 1,000 points of grots.
Actually, probably pretty good, but
Yeah, it's a lot of bodies.
that's what she said.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah, that's
So
about me. Yeah,
the what?
a lot of body.
Oh, body.
Yeah,
Okay.
singular.
So this is the first time actually in all the tournaments that I've been to. Miller and I have both been there, and we've never played.
Oh, okay.
Usually because I'm at the top and he's at the bottom,
Or the other way.
or the other way around.
Yeah, whichever. Dude.
Whichever one works.
So we were tied for first, so we played, and we had a great game, and both of us
Yeah.
learned amazing stuff. And after my first turn, because I went first, I looked at the board, and I looked at him, and I went, I royally fucked up. And he said, yeah, you did. And I went, I should have done this, this, and this instead of what I did. And he goes, yep, that probably would have won you the
Oh,
game.
man. I guarantee that he didn't know what the fuck you were talking about
no, he
until
did.
you said it. And he's like, yep,
He
I
did.
agree.
I needed to go second in that game instead of first, is what really needed to have happened.
Oh, okay.
Because I moved the jet bikes up the table like I'm supposed to, and I shot the crap out of a bunch of stuff, and then all my jet bikes were just sitting there like, now what? And a Libby Dread jumps into a squad and lights it up. His Wolfen came over. His Wolf Priest, right? Came over and popped his Armor of Rust.
Yeah.
So we had a couple interesting interactions we had to actually talk to a TO about. Well, there was one interaction he was doing that apparently some other players might be doing wrong. Is the Wolf Priest? He was bringing back a full model to a squad while he had a wounded unit.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I was like, no, dude, you can't. He's like, yeah, I can. Watch. And he read the first line, and I said, yeah, but there's more to that paragraph. Keep reading.
But if I only read half the rules, it proves my point.
He was like, oh, man, I've totally been doing that wrong. Oh, all right, fine. So this other interaction was I had the custo, one of my shield captains, more than 3 inches away from the Armor of Rust guy, and I popped Swooping Dive and came charging in. Now, Armor of Rust causes the combat, when he pops it, to go last. I wasn't in that combat, so I'm immune to that, and I go first still for Swooping Dive. Swooping Dive makes you go first if you succeed in your charge.
Okay.
Isn't it
no, it
like
does.
the
Yeah, it does say that.
It does.
chicken
So-
and the egg thing, though?
But then Armor of Rust says you go last regardless of any rules that say you go
Except
first.
I was out of the bubble when he activated it.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense.
I was out of the bubble when he activated it, and so I charged in, and I went first, killed the Wolf Priest,
Nice.
which didn't really do me any good because the Wolf Priest wasn't anything special. That captain,
But you did it.
Yeah, no, it does help because it gives all the Thunder
Oh,
Rolls
yeah, yeah.
rerolls on all their attacks.
oh yeah, no, it was very good. I mean, but it wasn't as far as scoring points for what I had for secondaries and other stuff like that. It was just a moral victory.
Oh, man, I always take Headhunter against John because he has so many characters.
I probably should have.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure what secondaries I should have taken, so I kind of messed it up.
Okay.
The Librarian Dread, I debated whether or not I wanted to take the Warlord trait that gives you a Dispel 1 ability, like you were a Psyker, and I didn't because John said, well, I never cast Smite, and I went, yeah, I could see
you
that.
Listen to him.
Hold on, wait, this story is awesome. So John...
We'll see.
Yeah. So John goes, well, you charged up the board, so I don't actually have to boomf myself. I don't have to flying librarian myself, so I guess I'll just cast Smite. And I went, all right, cool. He's like, so I cast Smite. That's D3 wounds on your Warlord. And I went, cool. So I have an ability that on a 6, I negate Psychic Mortal Wounds.
Sure.
So I picked up 3 dice, looked at them, and threw them down at the table. And they came up 3 6s.
Nice.
And it was like, oh, yes, in your face. And then he never cast Smite again after that because he needed the ability. But it was just one of those, ha ha.
Got him.
One of my captains killed Gabriel Seth.
Nice.
He was like, you don't want to charge him. I was like, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, you do. There's a lot.
That's a lot of stuff you're giving out here.
I think the general thing is whatever he tells you to do the opposite of.
I mean, if Gabriel Seth had gotten to go, it probably would have been very bad. But...
Yeah, so he doesn't do that stuff to me, but he does that to other people. I notice a lot. Like I hear that, like like, hey, don't do this, or like, you don't want to do that. That's a bad move. And it's like, well, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm about, son. So like,
it was one
This
of those,
Ron Swanson ass shit.
yeah, right.
well, and that was one of the reasons I was trying to take out Seth is because I thought Seth was the warlord.
Oh, okay.
And instead it was the
It's one member of
it's
the
Sanguinus.
Sanguinary Guard.
Yeah, it's the Sanguinary Guard that's
Like,
the
Sanguinor.
Sanguinor.
So check. No. He never makes a character his warlord, where he hasn't, like in the last.
Oh no,
warlord.
it was.
It's one of the Sanguinary Guard, because if you do that, the Sanguinary Guard get rerolls on everything because they get rerolls within 6 inches of the warlord. So he doesn't get a warlord trait, but it's like, well, whatever. I still get full rerolls on the Sanguinary Guard. That's my warlord trait all the time.
So we, we're fighting along, and he's at about, I don't know, 20 something points, and I'm 14.
Okay.
And I charged Celestine into his Leviathan Dread, and he's like, "Why would you do that? Celestine's just going to get pulped." Into the Sanguinor. And Celestine's just going to get pulped. And I was like, "I know what I'm doing." And he's
I
like,
know what I'm
all
about,
right.
son.
So at this point, I've got 3 squads of guardsmen and 2 company commanders left, and Celestine.
Okay.
Because the bikes have all been mopped the hell up by Devastators sitting on a tower that is 4 levels tall, so I couldn't get up there to kill them.
Dang, yeah, that sucks.
Until I got Celestine over there and cleaned him up. So I charge into the Sanguinor. Celestine throws down on the Sanguinor. The Sanguinor's like, "I ignore all your wounds." And he's like, "Pump." All right, I killed Celestine. I was like, cool. Celestine's going to go over here to this other corner of the board over here and hide behind this building that's big enough to hide her wings. So come get me. And then on the next turn, I scored another point for behind enemy lines, right?
Okay, sure.
So I was like, I knew what I was doing. I wanted that point.
I wanted
I'm
the
losing.
teleport. I wanted the teleport,
I
son.
wanted the free teleport. I'm losing this game. But so he's got
You like the Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. It's not flying, it's falling with style.
so the Sanguinor are mopping through the Imperial Guard.
Sure.
And he knows there's one last squad of Imperial Guard hiding in this building. And he forgets about the company commander that was right next to the squad he just killed up on the level below it.
Oh, okay.
And moves the Sanguinor over to be able to charge the other squad and kill him. And he's like, it's going into the last turn right now. And he's like, "That's it. I tabled you." And I went, "Yeah, you haven't tabled me, John." "What do you mean? I just killed the Celestine again. Just mopped up the last of your Imperial Guard squads." I was like, "Look at the board, John. Do you see any company commanders on the board?" Like that one that you were trying to get to earlier and then completely forgot about, or the one that was right in the middle of the Imperial Guard squad you just killed. He's like, "God damn it. How do I figure this out?" So we ended up having a down to the last roll scenario where he kills the last company commander, because obviously the Sanguinary Guard were just like, "Company commander, you're dead." But he had to come off getting the bonus objective to kill the company commander, because he wanted, because that's what I told him. I was like, "Why would you come off to kill the company commander when you're getting a bonus point here? It's better for you in the long run to get that 1 point." And he goes, "Now it's a point of pride because I totally forgot he was there."
I mean, that's
right.
fair. I can see that.
So he moves 3 Inceptors over, shoots all the heavy bolters at him, does 1 wound,
Yeah.
then charges, and does just enough wounds plus 1 to kill him. Except he's got an invuln save.
Oh yeah.
So I pop it, and I didn't save. I needed to save.
I was really hoping.
Oh, I know. I was like, how mad would you have been? He was like, "I probably would have just said you won the game." I was like, "Yay!" No, but we both learned stuff that we were doing wrong, and he's probably going to do it again because he'll forget, because he's John, military. And I learned stuff that I was doing wrong that made me go, "Oh, I got to really evaluate how I was playing." So
And you'll forget due to advanced aging.
probably. But and then so I played the last game. I was actually in 4th place, so I played against 3rd for 2nd against.
Spoilers about how this game turned out if you ended up 6th.
So I played against Imperial Knights.
Okay.
Against Matthew Goodwin.
I saw his list.
Wasn't he the guy that won the last big tournament up here?
He won Urza.
Sure did.
Yeah.
With Imperial Knights?
Yeah. So
Danny, what was my response to it when I saw Goodwin's list and saw Dave was playing him? I'm like, "Oh man, Dave's gonna struggle against that." and to his credit, our friend Taylor was like, "No, he'll be fine."
Yeah, there you go. See?
I mean, it would have been fine, but it just didn't go my way. So,
okay.
yeah, it is
All
what
right.
it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I finished 6th. I had a great time.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Our buddy Joe and Kevin played at the table right next to me, and they finished up just as quickly as I did. So we went outside and talked about penises, because that's what you do.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then John showed up,
Yeah.
which surprised me.
Then I dropped by. I was dropping my kids off
Oh.
at their mom's, so I was like, I'm going to drop by and say hello. Go in to throw my usual shade at Miller. I can't beat him on the table, but I can certainly talk shit to his face. So I go up, and the top table was at Miller and Bo playing for first, and they go, I'm like, hey, you beat.
Oh, was Bo playing?
Yeah, because
So-
they had 7 players, so
Yeah,
they
so-
had Bo came in to make a even 8.
And win.
And win. But it was so Bo and Miller playing, and I walk in, and I'm like, hey, Shitlord, and Miller's like, hey, we found out you've been cheating this whole time with Eldar, and I'm like,
What?
wait, let's roll this back a second. What's going on? And Bo's like, yeah, you can't charge after you fall back with wave serpents. Dave told us. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right, but okay. I've run wave serpents like twice. Sure. And then
the boop.
I wander away, and then I'm like, hold on a fucking second, and I look at my Eldar book. So I create a messaging group with Miller and Bo, and I'm like, no, it wasn't me cheating. It was usual stratagem-based Eldar bullshit that let me charge after falling back. And he's like, all right, vindicated. So I know I dropped by MJ's to buy some models and to say hi. So I finally got to start collecting Chaos Space Marine set.
Nice.
So he's going to start collecting them.
So I started collecting them. Yeah. Well, it was a throw up between that and the little 3-pack of Aspiring Sorcerers. And I didn't know which one I
That's a
wanted to
good
get
deal, too.
more. But then I was like, I'll give this set a try. I'm really happy I did, because Jesus. Whew.
I mean, aside from the fact that it's just old CSMs, the Hellbrute model is so fucking sick.
It's
Oh my
good.
God. It's made me rethink my entire 2019, to be honest with you, because before I was like, I was talking to you guys and I was like, yeah, I'm still gonna play Eldar in tournaments and stuff, and I'll have this fun little fluffy narrative chaos force that I'm gonna slowly build up. And then after assembling and kind of mostly painting one Hellbrute, I'm like, yes, I'm going to main Chaos next year. It's not going to be super successful because it's going to be as many Hellbrutes as I can fit in, running up the table to punch it. But yeah, that model is just fantastic.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a good looking model.
Yeah.
Your paint job looks good too.
Thank you. Yeah. So like I said, I finally got a Black Legion guy down. I have some Chaos Space Marines to paint now, and then start building towards, like I said, 3 Hellbrutes with fists.
What are they, like 104 points?
Fuck, they're less now. I think
No,
they're-
that's what I'm saying with the...
Yeah, so they're 104 points for
we don't know,
the
actually, no.
Hellbrute.
Rumored.
Rumored 104 points for the Hellbrute, 2 punch fists and 2 combi bolters, right?
Yeah.
And 104 points to run up the field and do like 6 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for that life.
Strength
Yep.
12, 3 flat.
Oh,
And I was
So
like,
good.
and I was looking at, they have like a rule where if they get wounded, then they automatically fight at the end of that phase. So if they're in combat or like near combat and they get shot by a pistol and it does a wound, and then I get to punch you 6 times. So I'm sitting there and I go out to our chat group. I'm like, hey, does anyone know how I can wound myself in the movement phase? And they're like, dangerous terrain. I was like, what if I'm locked in combat already? Is there some weird? So I'm almost tempted to just get like a Malefic Lord and hang him out behind the Hellbrute and just keep going for really fucking risky psychic powers in the hope of perils in, and
Just take the Psychers from Blackstone Fortress.
yeah.
Because they perils on any doubles.
Oh yeah.
And they reroll ones for psychic tests.
So it's kind of like a little 30-point stratagem of hoping my Psyker blows up and causes wounds to the Hellbrute around it, so
Yeah.
that I can fight 3 times in one turn.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's a risky strategy.
Like I
Let's
said,
see if it
I'm
pans
not
out.
going to win games with this, but the one time it works, and the
Oh.
one time I pull it off, and I get to fight in the psychic phase and the combat phase, and then spend command points to fight again in the combat phase.
It'll be against Miller.
Man,
Actually,
yeah. And then there's going to be one sanguinary guard that's very dead, but that doesn't matter. The point is I did it. So yeah, I built the entire Start Collecting box. I built Terminator guy as a sorcerer just because I like that model better. And I built just the 10 Marines as Bolter Marines because honestly,
Right.
running Chaos Space Marines with Chaos Space Marines, I'm not going to pay for upgrades for them because they don't deserve that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I kept the upgrade sprues, so I can add them in later.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think just regular bolter guys is good for me just now. And I started listening to the what's the Terra series, where it's like the Sister of Silence, the Custodes, and the Imperial Governor dude. It's
Are you talking about Vaults of Terra?
yeah, Vaults of Terra.
The not or
The same, yeah. But the Vaults of Terror, that's it. So I started listening to that one as well, and that's been super good.
And that's how you made a Spinoza last time.
I did, yeah. I made a Spinoza after listening to that one. But on the plus side, listening to this, I mean, it's super cool hearing about the Custodes, and it's super cool hearing about the Sisters of Silence and all that stuff. But I have no real strong drive to abandon Black Legion to build this stuff. So that's
nice.
good.
Yeah,
that's good. So yeah, that's a really good book so far. It's got the audiobook has 3 different voice actors in it. So it's super nice
awesome.
because it's 3 different points of view. Because you have the Sister of Silence, you have the
normally in an audiobook you just have John French doing all the voices.
Yeah, it's literally the author just doing really bad impersonations of the characters. The
best.
You haven't lived until you've heard Aaron Dembski Bowden's Calgar. He's surprisingly French. But it's a super good.
I'm not that surprised.
No, but it's super good so far. And like I said, it was because you have 3 different protagonists in that book. Pretty much, it makes sense to have 3 different kind of voices.
Yeah,
it really kind of helps with the story and the experience. The part I'm at right now is they're describing going into the throne, the throne. And I don't say the throne room because the throne is continent sized, and it has taken over mountains, and the pipes go all the way in to the core of Earth, and it's described as this giant machine, and it's not a fucking chair. And he describes kind of going into the center of it and kind of seeing a little bit of flesh, maybe a little bit of bone in the center, but then he goes kind of shuts down from the psychic energies coming from the place.
So it's not like the Blanche depiction of it, where it's just
a bunch of steps going up to a chair,
long-haired corpse sitting on a.
The way I view it now is there's a bunch of pictures online of an old German U-boat from World War One. I think it's a U-110 or something. But if you look at pictures of the inside of it, because there was one that was captured by the Allies, it's just nothing but gauges and dials and cogs and thousands of turn wheels, and
sure.
That's all it is. It's just this giant mechanism. It's just it's not necessarily a throne. It's just a giant psycho-eating factory. But I really I didn't think about it before. I was I guess that's what it would be like.
Gotta pump that beat.
Yeah, and especially because they talk about all the different power generators and stuff they'd added, and all of the power that the place takes to actually operate. And how it keeps needing more power every year, so they can't even keep tagging generators everywhere.
Just imagine a guy setting down his generator, plugging it in, and pulling the cord to start it.
A pulley servitor is just sitting there,
a pulley servitor
grinding. But yeah, that book is super, super good. So I highly recommend that one. And again, it was the Vaults of Terror series where we started with the Carrion Throne.
Still Chris Wright wrote it, though, right?
I believe so, yeah. So it's the same Custodes character from the other book there, but the other ones are new. So it's super good. I'm enjoying it very much. So I listened to it while painting my Hellbrute, as you are to do with chaotical things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, paint it while listening to stuff about the Imperium. Right?
Yeah, you're going to get those plans into how to destroy the place. I didn't play any games apart from a little bit of Blackstone on Friday.
We've only been off for a week. So
wonderful baby shower and tournament day Saturday, which was super, super fun, actually. Danny's wife.
It's a good time.
We had this little baby shower game, which is apparently a thing where you draw on a onesie and the funniest one wins, and Nate drew loss, which is a meme about miscarriage and stuff. So I was that's really dark, but I love it.
Oh man, I didn't.
You didn't pick up on that? That's the first thing
now.
I picked up, and I'm that's dark.
That's dark as shit.
But that's very funny.
The old Control-Alt-Delete comic.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he wrote Nanny on the butt flap. Danny wrote, it was like mommy's favorite Nurgling, which is great because Amanda's little Chaos Army. Her favorite thing is the Nurglings in there. And I think the one that won the competition was Danny's wife, who wrote on the front of it proof that Daddy doesn't play Warhammer all the time. And in front of my kids, Nate screams out, well, it was at least 30 seconds anyway. To which my 13-year-old daughter beside me let out a and I'm like, stop. You don't know what that means.
Well,
I hope she doesn't know. So yeah, that was my week really. Like I said, getting into Chaos, planning how to fit as many Hellbrutes as possible. Looking in Forge World to see if they have Hellbrute variants that have slightly different data slates, so it can fit more in there, but they don't.
I'm telling you, go with some Hellforged Leviathans or something.
But they're not spiky.
they can be.
Yeah.
Is there Hellforged versions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, we're gonna have to take a break and go have a look at what those look like. If you want to see Dave's list from last Saturday, look it up.
I actually couldn't get it uploaded because there was a problem.
Dave.
There were no lists uploaded.
Well,
If you want to see, there was 2 events created.
Yeah,
there was a big screw up. So.
If you want to look at John Miller's list, he never uploads it. But if you want to look at Scarlett Johansson's cans, he always uploads a picture of those instead.
Right.
If you look at MJ's 40K event on the 8th of December, 1 or 2 people heroically uploaded lists. Dave,
he did it later
via the Best Coast Pairings app. But Dave just took like 30 guardsmen and a bunch of fucking bikes like a puss.
It's so disparaging about his list.
I'm sorry,
up, John.
Custodes jet bikes and 32 Imperial Guardsmen. I forgot it was 2017.
You know what? It's a really hard army to play.
It's a really hard army for me to beat.
You just have to like move your guys up and then shoot and then assault things. It's very difficult. You don't understand.
I don't understand.
There's a lot of tactical
a lot of dice. So much fun rolling dice.
Too much time has been spent for me playing lists that have synergy and require like no thinking.
I have synergy.
Synergy isn't what you call dice rolling, Dave. So what did you run on Saturday?
So on Saturday I ran Celestine, 2 shield captains with hurricane bolters, and then 2 squads of 5 and 1 squad of 4 Virtus Praetors, and then 2 company commanders and 4 guardsmen squads.
Ooh, 4 guardsmen squads.
This is great radio, but this is what it did when I tried to upload it last time, which is why it wouldn't
that
let
is
me.
a picture of your penis.
Well,
that
yeah, but it's still not uploading.
That's really foul. We're trying to tell our listeners to like.
And maybe if it was a bigger,
stuff.
Yeah, maybe
nobody wants to see that. I mean, literally nobody.
No, nobody. Maybe if it was a bigger file size.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking, or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
Oh, we all feel better now. After that extended extended bathroom break.
You guys are disgusting.
We
Just because we went in and held each other together.
we just we laugh. We
guys-
have
You
fun.
guys really helped each other out there, I think.
Gave each other a hand. Hey, so Dave, you had a really funny joke you've been working on for days that I cut you off and you didn't get a chance to tell.
Well, now it's not funny. I mean, So the best part about the tournament, though, for me was that I was playing
Dude,
Custodes.
I'm the best.
No, I'm sorry. Please continue.
No, now I don't want to, you big jerk. No, so I was talking about it beforehand, like if I did well with the Custodes.
Dude, I'm the best.
I don't know why that keeps happening.
God, it's like
God.
Is it sound triggered by a certain word? Hold on, let me try.
Okay.
So, I think what I'm trying to say is like at the tournament, if I would have. No,
That's weird.
Oh,
That's
yeah, that is
weird.
really
yeah.
strange.
Super weird.
I moved up to 69th in Custodes.
Dude, I'm the best.
69th. Best.
Out of how many?
Watch out, Jeff in control Robinson.
That
I'm coming for
doesn't
you.
matter. The fact that he's 69th means
It's actually like
something.
200 something.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you're in the top half.
And I also moved up into the top half in regular rankings.
Look at you.
Look at you, yeah. So,
I'm coming for you, John.
what are you mainly playing next year, do you feel? Because I know Danny's looking forward to Alvio and how to finish out his season strong, whereas you and I are kind of looking at how do we start our season at all.
Honestly, I don't have a clue. So, we talked about an event that we're going to do in March, and we don't really know. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing Black Legion, baby.
But I kind of really want to run Corn Demons and Berserkers. Now, I don't think Corn Demons and Berserkers can win for shit, but I just think it's
Shit, if I have a
funny as
bunch
hell
of
to
Corn
charge
Demons
across.
running behind Hellbrutes.
I just
Hey, I got a bunch of corn demons I'm trying to get rid of. Just throwing that out there.
no, it's cool. I want to paint my own.
They're not painted.
I'm not surprised.
That was a good burn, dude.
Yeah, well done.
Fair. Like, yeah.
Thank you.
Slow clap.
No. I'm not sold on it yet. Part of one of the reasons I'm not sold on it yet is because I need to get some termites.
Sure.
Because I
Me
feel
too.
Like
I've replaced termites with Hellbrutes.
well, your Hellbrutes idea fits perfectly with a thematic way that I want to play that army, which is just fuck shooting. I'm going to charge up the field and slice stuff, including like my list that I mocked up had a Renegade Knight in it with just the Gauntlet, the Chainsword. No, and what, the Heavy Stubber because it's free, right?
Well, it's 2 points.
Yeah.
But you have to take it.
No, we
or
know
a
why.
melted gun.
No way.
Right.
Now
Yeah,
we know
yeah,
why he's
that's- I mean-
69th is.
I'm sorry. It's rumored to be 2 points.
Allegedly.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's one of those things you have to take. It's an auto include.
Sure.
You're not able to.
Sort of like
untake it.
Dave's like, this model has a storm shield on it, so it's free.
Or you can allegedly pay 14 points.
Is it
for
a
melted
character?
gun.
Well, then it pretty much is free. So, yeah. So, I just think that I want just I'm going to charge up the field and hack you to pieces.
Slap fight.
Yeah, that's it. Or maybe with the previewed changes to drop pods, I might drop pod Berserkers.
Chaos can't take drop out.
That's
No.
what I said. I was going to use termites, Hellforce
Oh.
termites instead of drop pods. You misheard me.
I see.
No, I'm not editing that.
Yeah. But that's not why we're here today. So,
So you guys are. So you both want to play Chaos then, like?
Yeah,
Because
pretty
we're
much.
thinking about doing that thing. Because I'm also thinking about playing Chaos. I kind of wanted to play some Dark Angels.
Maybe we just do
Oh.
3 flavors of chaos.
sick Philburn.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I want to play Dark Angels or Mechanicus. I can't decide. I want to play some Imperial faction because, man, Imperials have got a good.
Danny, you're like a kid in a candy store with his mom's credit card for armies.
It's right.
I want to play this one and this one.
You know,
and
I
this
have
one.
all of these armies already. Like they
Yeah,
just
he
need
doesn't
to
have
be
to buy
built
anymore.
and painted.
That's I know, but still.
What a time to be alive in the 40K universe right now. Like everything is fun to play for the most
Yeah,
part.
for real.
And Tau.
Oh yeah,
Tower fun to play if you like moving and shooting.
and losing a lot.
It's a good army.
It's the most perfect army.
I mean,
it didn't get
stealth suits.
FAQ'd for months.
It's worse than it's better than Necrons. I'll tell you that.
Ooh,
Yeah, Necrons.
that's a Danny's hot takes.
Yeah.
right there.
Danny's hot takes of they're the 8th edition version of Tyranids where you have to take one big Forge World thing and support it with a bunch of shit from your book.
Yeah. Accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
accurate.
I mean, I'm also interested in Tyranids, or I'm sorry, Genestealer Cult, I should say.
Oh yeah.
Because by that
Oh,
point
yeah.
in time, the Codex should hopefully be out.
Oh man, those dirt bikers.
Oh, yeah. Sniper bikers.
Right?
And the little
Quad bike.
Oh
No.
no, the
The little
guy with the
the
map.
hologram. What's he called, John?
Oh shit! I don't have our chat pulled up. I forgot what it is.
Hold on. I'll look it up.
Okay, you look it up.
But I don't have the Genestealer book, by the way. So don't ask me for
Okay.
Genestealer shit.
I mean, I have it here, but
The Genestealer book.
Shh, John. NDA, bro.
it doesn't count if I'm lying.
That's fair.
see here.
But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of fun stuff that I just feel like doing just because, not because I want to. I'm going to be the best at this. Like, I want to be top with custodes, but I feel like I'm going to have to change my list around with previewed changes to Wardens and Alaris Terminators, right?
I really like those models. Those Alaris
Oh, I love them
Terminators
too.
are amazing looking.
I love all of the way all custodes look. To me,
They are called a Nexo Strategist.
Oh, you got it. I was trying to find it, but yeah.
Yeah. Because in the Vigilus book, the story of it, Genestealer Cult plays a huge part of what's happening on the planet.
Have we finally kicked over into Vigilus lore with Professor
I was
Cornell
trying to
101?
I was trying to segue this.
I mean, it was a pretty good
Yeah.
segue Danny set me up with. And
Yeah.
I thought you were trying that as well because you kept mentioning Genestealer Cult.
I was,
But
but you're pretty dumb. So in the end, we just had
that's
to
fair.
Ouch, dude,
force
dang,
it
dude.
on you.
dang, fuck, I don't even want to talk now.
So, well, try hitting the BCP app button, and it'll make you want to talk.
No, like I'm genuinely hurt.
I'll cry about it later
I mean, that's just me.
on my huge pillows.
Ladies, please.
Yeah.
So Danny and I took we got to read all of the detachment stuff and see all that stuff, and then we gave the book to John to study up on the
a
lore. so he
fluff
could
guy.
Teach it. Yeah,
I'm
he's
a
a fluffer.
story guy.
He's a fluffer.
Don't like that gameplay and I want to read about what happens.
So
I read my hobby. Or at least 2/3 of it.
Yeah,
Because, man,
2/3.
that's long.
so
There's so much.
So much.
so much in there.
So much lore in this book. And so many genuine reasons for all of these armies to be here. Like, I always hate the campaigns that they do where they're like, yeah, this one planet, every conceivable faction in 40K is there. Why? Because there's only war in the future. And you're like, yeah, but Tau would literally take 10,000 years to get from where they are to there.
Warp tunnel.
Warp tunnel.
Yeah, still coming.
How do they do that? Don't know. Where's their Galler field? They have a Tau thing. Stealth suit.
Still.
Space communists. It's okay. They can just
But
do
this is the first in the series of books kind of delving into
Yeah.
what they call Imperium Nihilus. So there's the kind of the good, honest to God fearing or emperor fearing side of the Imperium where they still have the navigation and the light and all of that kind of stuff. So the regular Imperium. And then the other side of the cicatrix is the Imperium Nihilus, or the Dark Imperium. You might notice it was referenced pretty heavily with the 8th edition box, Dark Imperium. And the book that came out with the 8th edition box called Dark Imperium. It's called Dark Imperium because all contact was cut off when the cicatrix opened up. And it's these worlds are cut off from the Imperium. They don't know what to do. And it kind of just, I wouldn't say chaos happens everywhere because that means something different in this case. But the anarchy everywhere. And these, we're going to hear more about it in the upcoming novel. What's the Space Marine chapter called? That's coming out of the
Emperor's Spears.
The Emperor's Spears is going to be dealing heavily with kind of building the lore of this Imperium Nihilus. And this here, in the first book, the Vigilus Defiant, is kind of going into our first kind of journey narratively into Vigilus Defiant. Danny made 2 of my Blackstone Fortress models hold hands.
They're Urgles. They're in love.
Their love is what's dangerous. So the cicatrix is kind of splitting the entire galaxy in 2, and crossing it is impossible. But there's 1 or 2 crossing points in areas where they can transfer between kind of the dark and the light sides of the Imperium.
Yeah.
And one of these points is a planet called Vigilus. And this is why it's so important. Another reason it's important, Gulliman has specifically said, this planet cannot fall for any reason. So
that's a bold statement.
Right, and that instantly that's why Ultramarines are there. That's why Dark Angels are there. That's why huge amounts of Imperial forces are there. Because if the most senior person in the Imperium says something has to happen, they're going to do everything in their power to make it happen.
Yep.
I think it's because he was, texting Abaddon, gonna go ahead and go to Vitrix, save it, and Abaddon's like, no, that's my planet now. Never mind. You know what? Fuck it.
Vigilus.
Vigilus, yeah.
I think
You mean Vicatrix? There's an A in there.
guys, shut up. You guys are the worst.
But yeah, so that's why the entire Imperium is there. We find out very early on.
A lot of the Imperium.
Yeah, a huge amount. There's so many Space Marine companies
There's got to
there.
be like 50 Space Marine companies
All right,
there.
so there was the build up to this, right?
Right.
The first thing that they did was they released the Kill Team box set was the first basic eye into Vigilus, where you had the Devoted Sons and the Skitarii who were there. So the Skitarii were actually
from
already
Styges 8.
Yeah, the Styges 8 Skitarii were already there, right? They were stationed on the planet doing whatever they do. So they were already there to start with. That was weird.
I just dropped the screw.
Okay.
It's fine. I was grabbing a rubber band.
Would you say that you had a screw loose?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would. That's very funny.
So they're
I don't know if you realize it, Danny, but that was a joke you told right then because it was a play on words. Because while a screw drops, saying a screw is loose is making me sound insane, and that's why that's funny.
That's silly.
That is silly. Please continue, Dave.
So you had that box set, and I remember reading it when we got it and thinking about it. I was like, wow, this stuff is happening on this planet.
Sorry,
Vigilus.
Dave. What's a box set? I'm a fluff guy. Only dealing stories.
Can you tell a story
So
about
the Kill
box?
Team box set was designed to Vigilus was represented there as a planet that the Genestealer Cult was rising up and the Skitarii were fighting. Then you get the Tooth and Claw box set where the Skitarii go, hey, we weren't good enough. Please come save us, Space Wolves, on Vigilus. Mm-hmm. So the Space Wolves show up and they put down a small uprising, supposedly. And then you have the next box set, which was Wake the Dead, right? Wake the Dead was the next box set on Vigilus, which is
Samhain Elder versus Ultramarines.
So you have the Samhain Eldar who show up and help out, and then the Ultramarines show up because Bobby G was
This
like,
is the story of
"Get
that
over
box. The Eldar's like, hey, man, you want some help? We should probably fix this before shit falls. And the Ultramarines are like, fuck you.
You fucking pointy-eared piece of shit.
No, we got to kill this one guy, otherwise this whole planet falls. Fuck you.
Do you know who I am?
I'm a goddamn second company tactical marine.
Boom, roasted. So that happens, and then you got Speed Freaks, which was set there,
Yep.
talking about the orcs.
Oh man, the best part about this is that the orcs tried attacking all of the cities in Vigilus, but Vigilus, the Mechanicum in this world have pretty much free reign because they make these force fields. They mass produce these force fields, so all of the hives are protected by these great force fields, and the orcs can't get past it, and they can't get through it, so they just give up and go race in the desert.
Because that's fun as shit, dude.
That's why
It's the
Speed
most-
Freaks happen.
It's the most orky thing ever.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then,
That was bad.
Calgar
quiet.
showed up because he didn't want to disappoint Daddy. So
Well, sort of.
Oh, well, tell us what happened, John.
So start us from the beginning of the book.
So beginning of the book kind of goes over water a lot. It's a disturbing amount of detail. The
So
water
scene
situation on the
opens,
planet. Scene opens. Smash
zoom
cut
into water.
2. Yeah, water. And it's like an M. Night Shyamalan film. Like that. What was it? Signs when they were like allergic to water or some shit like that.
God.
But no, it describes how about a lot of different kind of world building stuff. So the way time is told in the Imperium has changed as of this book officially. So we know before we have, this is like technically I think right now is like 015 M3, or like right now in this time.
And 43?
No, like today in the real world, it would be like that. And before there was like 995.M41. But with the cicatrix being in here, everything is different. So like time is different all over the Imperium, and it's really hard to kind of figure out what's happening.
Or when it happened.
So Robu Guilliman inserted this new system of how to tell time. So
really, dude, that's the most bureaucratic thing I can think of. Like, so it's perfect for him.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
so in character. That's amazing.
So, like an example they give here, like there's literally an entire page explaining how time works. So, a time stamp from the new 40K would be 0.9 preview VCM.M41.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be 0 years and 9 chronosegments a chrono segment is 3 days.
Okay.
Previous, which is the preview, to the Vigilus system's first instance of the Cicatrix Malorum. Or Maledictum.
Maledictum.
So everything is
see.
based off of when they first saw the Cicatrix Maledictum.
Okay.
So if it was like a year before, then like I said, or this one here would be 27 days before the Maledictum, it would be 0.9 preview. Each system has a unique code for Vigilus, it's VCM. So this would be 24 days or 27 days before the Vigilus system first saw the Cicatrix Maledictum.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
So that way everyone. So and what I like about this is the Cicatrix Maledictum is a huge deal. Literally, the entire galaxy is centered around when it happened, and that's how. And it's a really clever way to tell time, and it kind of gets everyone's stories on order.
So I'm looking at the map.
I think
here.
that's why I'm saying Vicatrix.
Oh,
Probably why.
Because we spent so fucking long learning how to say
trying,
Cicatrix.
yeah, because I was trying to say Cicatrix.
Fucking Gullum and Cicatrix.
That's what
guard.
it is. It's Cicatrix guard.
So Vigilus is part of the Nachmund Gauntlet, which is one of the only 2 ways of getting across the Cicatrix.
Right. So right now there's only
safely.
2 ways to safely go across. I mean, and it talks about how some planets like pull you closer to the Cicatrix. It's imperial law. You cannot look at the night sky while the Cicatrix is out. When people look up at the Cicatrix, they go insane. They start seeing visions and they start getting heretical and things like that. So they literally, it's a crime to look up.
On Vigilus, yeah.
On
Right?
Vigilus and in any planet close to the rift or the Maledictum, I guess is what we're going to call it. But it's illegal to look up because it'll drive you crazy.
I think that's awesome.
Vigilus is a hive world. It's a Mechanicus world. So there is a lot of forges and things like that on there. The thing I like is the Mechanicus kind of claimed this world, and they traded their force field technology with other hives to have their own space. So like, hey man, we'll force field all your hives. You just got to give us this one little bit of space over here. And they're like, okay, that sounds cool. So they give them a little space. You know, the Mechanicus builds their hive. And Mechanicus burrows so far into the planet because they're trying to retrieve the Blackstone, because this planet has a lot of Blackstone in it.
Oh, okay.
So they burrow so far into the planet and fuck up the inside of the planet so much it causes massive earthquakes all over the planet.
Interesting.
Damages the hive. But the thing is, these earthquakes, they form cracks in the shape of the Cicatrix Maledictum above them.
Oh, no.
So that's never a good sign. So this is kind of the planet we're on. So about 240 years before the rift, a bunch of Genestealers are shot out from a neighboring planet in little pods. One makes it through, and as we know by anything, one is all you need. Yep. And the cult of the Pauper Princes starts to form. And starts to kind of infest in the society here. And what we see in kind of the first half of this book is how organized and how scary a full Genestealer Cult infiltration is.
Sure.
And these guys in the book, the Pauper Princes, they're about halfway through their plan to kind of take over the planet. And this is 200 odd years in. But what happens is the orcs show up. And the patriarch is like, I am not letting my planning go to shit because some orc comes and attacks. So they are risen early and they're forced to arise early.
It's patriarchs, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
patriarch.
Well, for now.
For now, yeah. Okay. So what happens is you have, like I said, all these orcs come and they attack the hives, but they can't get past the hives because of the force field. So they fuck off and race, and that's when they come up with this great plan. They describe it as a Magos goes to see the Patriarch to come up with this plan and kind of share his idea. And the Patriarch's described as being terrifying even to the cultists. And like the only reason the Magos can do it is because he has like a little psychic friend with him to kind of help temper everything away. So that he translates his plan and the Patriarch is like, let's fucking do it. I mean, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I feel it's fairly close to what it is. What happens is the Genestealer Cult has infected the entirety of life in the hive. So there's some in the guard, there's some in the PDF, there's some everywhere. And the order gets made, the cult uses the Cicatrix Maledictum and its appearance to lower the force field on the hive. And it's pointed out here that anytime that this would fall, the force field would fall, would be like super suspicious, and the cult would be instantly found out. But because the cicatrix has come and it's like really screwing with everything,
what happened?
they're like, oh no, it was the cicatrix. So when the hive fell, the call is made. We're going to send out our Imperial Guard. We're going to protect the hive from these orcs coming. And they send out 4,000 guardsmen. Now, it just so happens certain regiments were requested. Certain units were requested. Certain personnel and equipment was requested. And they were all sent out. The Genestealer Cult might have adjusted who was requested to go outside the hive. They were given the instructions, hey, hold them back until we can get the shield up. As soon as we can get the shield up, we'll radio you. You guys come back inside. You're good to go. You just got to hold off these orcs a little bit. So a speedwa of like 15,000 orcs comes down towards the hive. They can tell from the dust clouds coming from like miles away. And the guards start fighting like, shit, okay. Whew. And this huge battle happens on the outside. Inside the hive, when all of the loyal guardsmen and all of the Emperor's finest are outside fighting, the Pauper Princes choose this as the time to rise up and start to seize control of the hive.
The means of production.
Yeah. Damn, so Marxist. Genestealer Cult. They also use this as the appropriate time to raise the force field back up. So I love this.
That's the best.
The best part of this is they send out all of their enemies and they do like a mini Istvan on them and just like lock them all outside and let the orcs just murder all their enemies. So they took over this hive super quick. Another place they've infiltrated is the world's main water supply. And they have been slowly, over 200 years, adding their blood to the water to the point where all of the water, apart from the ones that the super high-ups drink, has a slight purplish tint to it.
That's not good.
Which is no. And I'm like, well, this world should be exterminated as quick. But
and I guess your labor, though, like, they can't afford a Brita filter, so they're just screwed.
Gulliman's next edict is to Brita filters for all factories.
The Brita pattern filter, Mark IV.
Mark IV.
So we see a lot of this fighting over water. Like the space wolves come down and they start fighting in kind of the planet's Arctic. And that's kind of where we see that tooth and claw set is kind of the Arctic fight between the Genestealer Cult that's kind of protecting that water production place and the Genestealer Cult. We have, I think, our Martyred Lady Sisters of Battle are there. Mm-hmm. They are protecting the main water source for the main populace. They're fighting Genestealer Cult there on that. And it's just lots of battles over control of resources and a lot of explanation to the importance of it.
That's cool.
Which is, super, super cool.
Which is like a mundane reason to fight over a planet, which is important because, like, it's not always like about fighting over some crazy artifact or something.
Right, exactly. I mean, whenever we make up games, we make up this like Deus Ex Machina, or like, this is the Power Stone. It's very powerful. Everyone wants this one thing. We're like, no, you need this shit to survive.
That's right, unobtainium.
Yeah.
Like you need it.
So we have Space Wolves down. We also get Iron Hands coming down.
Yep.
And some Iron Hand successor chapters. What I learned from this book here, they don't talk to each other.
No.
They come down, they do their shit over here, they do their shit over there. The planetary government's like, guys, the fuck, we need help. Come help us. Because what's happening is the planetary government is shockingly incredibly corrupt. So they're pulling all the resources to protect their stuff. So there's no concentrated effort. There's like 15 people pulling forces 15 different directions to protect their things. And it kind of continues like this until the Ultramarines come with Basket Case Carnal Malgar. Newly Primarified. He went through the cardboard box of the Rubicon Primaris.
The Rubicon Transmogrifier.
The Transmogrifier. Mm-hmm. I'm very disappointed it describes the Rubicon in the book. It says
Very big
sort of
page
cardboard
of it,
box.
right?
he said he was cut from head to heel, and I'm like, bullshit, because he doesn't have legs. But
he does now. Retcon, bitch.
But he's described as dying. They kill him inserting these 3 organs, but he is reborn as a Primaris. He comes down, goes straight to the main hive, and Jesus Calgar kind of kicks open the door, And all of the accounts are like, oh shit, I know who you are. And he's like, the fuck are you guys doing? You're not organized. All this other stuff is happening here. And he forcibly removes some of the council. Like, your shit, get out. Your shit, get out. His Vikitrayak's guard go to grab a couple of the council members to remove them. And, like, the ropes fall and they see purple ridges on them and grease paint on them. So the Genestealer Cult are now actually running the planet, and I love the fact that it's 40,000 years in the future, and the best disguise we can come up with is grease paint.
So it just goes to my theory that all Genestealer cultists are just juggalos.
No. I came out of this book liking Genestealer Cult.
What is a GSC?
So, also happening at this time is... on a dock in a random hive, an unidentified ship kind of slowly rolls in and lands. And then shitloads of Geller Poxwalkers come out of it.
Yeah. Oh, and so that's what the short story was about.
Yep.
Not
That's what the
Death
short
Guard.
story. Yeah, that's what the short story was about. What's happening is Nurgle and Death Guard people sent just ships full of Gallerpox infected victims down there, and this Gallerpox is like treated as the worst thing you can get.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
real
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Real bad to the touch. Just it completely wipes out and infects people. So they take over this port, and they just really just wipe out the whole thing. One rogue trader gets away, and she goes to the planetary government, and he's like, "Hey guys, y'all are fucked because this is happening here."
Oh, so that's the plot of Rogue Trader then?
Different rogue trader. It's chick rogue trader, not
Yeah.
Oh,
She's a chick.
Yeah.
Oh, the kill team rogue trader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the rogue trader plot. You're absolutely right. I didn't get that. So the chick rogue trader is like goes to Calgar, explains what happens. So they check the shipping manifests, and they see that one ship has left the port since the infection started, and it's heading right to these crazy coordinates where it could warp jump away.
Oh man.
But none of the ships there are fast enough apart from this rogue trader ship. So the rogue trader gets her little retinue, chases after it. I'm assuming this is what happens in the game Rogue Trader, available now. And they say it's like horrible inside, and they somehow destroy the ship.
Okay.
That's when they find out 2 more ships took off at the same time. And they are both on their way to Terra.
Oh no.
But they're already in warp.
That's awesome.
So there is 2 Gallerpox-laden ships full of plague zombies heading to Terra right now.
Oh, okay.
That's
so
awesome.
dream of mine right now. Mm-hmm. A Gellerpox infected / Trader Guardsman army would be the coolest army ever. Like as
For sure.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, it even makes me want to take those Gallerpox mutants from the Rogue Trader box and
Dude,
just
they're
throw
so
them in there
cool.
because they're so cool looking.
they are awesome models.
So nice.
All right, so Gallerpox. So we got Chaos Nurgle here. Chaos itself comes. The skies darken, and
ominous.
Harkon World Claimer. I'm gonna get his name right now. I'm not ordering him as a model because I send our friend Mini Stomp our order, and I'm like, hey, I need 2 of the World Breaker models, and he's like, what the is that? Do you mean this guy? And I'm like, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
It's okay. We butchered it for you twice in the video we did.
Oh, good. Harkoon World Claimer.
Harpoon World Claimer. More like.
So Harpoon World Clamor comes down. And the way it's described,
nautical
it's
theme.
very insidious, kind of like Chaos is, where they would describe as like sentries and tall towers would just suddenly disappear, or kind of guns would suddenly break, but they were too tall for regular people to get to. What give? And that's when we find out Harkon World Claimer comes down with like a shitload of raptors and Heldrakes.
Awesome.
And they're just like screaming everything. And then he psychically connects to every raptor on the planet. He psychically connects to every Heldrake on the planet and it says his message in every language for every person on the planet to hear about how this world has been claimed by Abaddon, and in 80 days he will come to bring it to bear.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ooh, new Abaddon, please.
Yes, please.
I mean, we don't actually know. So if it comes out,
I said
John
please.
called it.
I called it. And I deserve a free one 2 months before release. I'm just saying, give the person what they want.
the person.
So Ultramarines are here now. Cardinal Malgar's here now. So everything is a little bit more organized and efficient about where everything's going. The Genestealer Cult starting to get beaten back in some areas, but otherwise they're super strong in other places. Sure. And this is kind of how book one, I guess, of the two-parter here ends.
And the orcs are still fucking shit up too, right?
Orcs are still fucking shit up. I mean, I love the way they're continually described as a force of nature. And we talked about this, Dave, in our Beast of Rises stuff, where like they work best when they're just a force of nature.
Oh yeah,
like the way they're treated, like coming to attack the Hive is like how a desert sandstorm would attack something. You know, it's not described as something you can control or predict. It's just
Here's orcs. They're fighting you.
Here's
Have
orcs.
fun.
Oh, couple of great battles in this book though. In the sidebars, I sent a couple of them to you guys because they were just
too good.
All right, here.
So
I like that Crimson Fist one you sent. Where they're forced to slaughter a bunch of innocent people.
Forced.
Well,
all right,
because they have like a reputation, right, of being like one of the most honorable chapters.
Oh,
like,
not
and,
anymore.
Like,
yeah,
and looked up to as like champions of humanity, and like they hold back the menace. And no, not so much.
So top three battles here. We have the battle for the Seeping Delta.
Oh man, this
so
one's so
good,
cool.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's like this little fringe continent, just outside of one of the giant hives, comes under siege from orcs. It's like a little Mechanicus town, pretty much. So just right as the Pauper Princes lower the force fields, this place gets besieged too. The death toll was getting huge. Everything was going crazy on that. But just as the orcs were like kind of regrouped to this major force, the Mechanicus Fabricator General decided to roll up 600 flame armored cataphrons. And in my head, I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, 600 flamers? Yeah, those guys are screwed. No, he also filled the entire delta with promethium, and they just set fire to the delta.
Yeah, just burn the whole delta. Why
Burned
not?
it all down, which killed every single orc, every single Mechanicus person, like a little bit of flesh left.
And like they talk about the rust stalkers that they gave like stilts to, so that they could like step above the flames and slaughter any survivors.
Yeah, that was crazy, and that's just kind of that great Mechanicus efficiency.
Yeah.
Of all right, we could spend this amount of resources to fight this battle for 3 days, or I could end it in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yep, let's do it.
This is slightly cheaper.
I mean, all we're going to lose is some regular troopers.
Another great battle here, the Battle of Morning Gorge, which is the orkiest battle I've ever heard.
Hilarious.
There was a single orc. He's good. He gets a name. His name is Frag Bad Squig Biter. He climbed to the top of the canyon to watch the speedway races because, they were bored.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they just wanted to race. He wanted a good seat to see things. As he was making his way up, he saw an entire Imperial Guard spearhead of just thousands of vehicles. They blockaded the canyon, so as soon as the racers kind of came in, they would just wreck shit with him. Sure. So what he did is he saw the nearest vehicle to him, which was a Death Strike missile, and he threw every single stick bomb he had at that Death Strike missile, which, like, the way they describe it is like 80 or 90 of them.
Yeah, right. It sounds like a lot.
It
right?
sounds like a lot. So I just imagine that he has his wheelbarrow. I don't know. Maybe he was going to throw them at the orc racers as they were coming by in the canyon.
Like party favors.
Yeah, party favors.
It wouldn't be speedwalking if,
So he blew up the Death Strike missile. Funny thing about Death Strike missiles is they're giant nuclear warheads. So he
just blast open a connection to the warp if they have vortex missiles.
Yeah.
So the blast killed the entire Imperial Guard blockade, destroyed the canyon, and also killed the entire speedway that was racing and around at that point.
So do you think he won his bet? Got some more teeth? Or
I think he's quite dead at this point.
Oh, okay.
But his name will live on
in stick bombs. All right, let me see here. What else have we got that's like super, super good? Oh, so there is there is a moon on Vigilus. This isn't a battle. This is pretty good. All message services go through this moon because, as we said before, Vigilus quite corrupt. The government,
right,
maybe a little favorite to one or the other, and they are worried that kind of messages might get misinterpreted or misconstrued. So the moon handles all of the messages. what they do is it's described as like a tube system. So have you ever gone to like a drive-through bank and you know you put your shit in the tube and it gets sucked up? That's how I imagine it. And the tubes go down to the planet. And then they stop, and kind of when the packages fall out, grav chutes open up and deliver it right to the person.
Oh, that's handy.
That's handy, right? However, multiple times, the grav chutes have failed to open and have killed the intended recipient by driving their message right through them. It doesn't say their skull, through them, because it lands with such impact. So, yeah, that's not great. Not great messaging.
That's one way to send a greeting card.
Yeah. So there's
Merry Christmas,
hello from the moon.
There's also these like there's also these massive orc cities that are building. So obviously millions of orcs are here now.
Sure.
They're and as orcs kind of bring together, they kind of build these big cities to build gargants and these giant monstrosities. A combined White Scar Ravenwing strike force.
Oh yeah.
Gets sent out to attack, and I'm like, man, that's good. I mean, one hits fast and hard. All these bikes, that would look amazing.
No, one hits fast and hard, and the other hits hard and fast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
What are they, Gork and Mork?
No, Emperor and Remperor.
Remperor.
So they're riding out here, and right as they're about to get to the start of the battle, all of a sudden Ravenwing has to Ravenwing, and they kind of pull off and head straight for something called the Vullian Swirl, and kind of abandon the White Scars by themselves. Which made the White Scars have to retreat because they had the choice of retreating or dying.
Yeah, and White Scars aren't gonna
die,
take that
right?
shit.
So they fire invaded, and they got on out of here. This is what you're talking about here. Dirked and abandoned. The good old Crimson Fists. They evacuated a hive, but they posted Crimson Fists to stop people from getting into other hives. Because it's being described all throughout the book how Genestealer cults would kind of sneak in the crowd and just wear hoods so you couldn't see them so they can continue infecting other hives. So Calgar decided that the tens of millions of people are going to be abandoned from this point. The Crimson Fists kind of formed a wall, didn't let people past. And then the protesters started complaining about that, obviously. It's like, we want to get out of here. We don't want to die here. So they did the very smart thing and started throwing rocks at Space Marines.
That's what I would do if I were upset.
Yeah, so
I'd throw stick bombs, actually.
That seemed to work really well.
Yeah, I mean...
but yeah, the Crimson Fists massacred a bunch of refugees trying to get past them, which is being described as a blemish on the honor of that chapter.
I disagree.
Still, Calgar was convinced the action was necessary, mainly because it wasn't carried out by Ultramarines.
That's exactly what the story is.
Acceptable casualties, because it was those guys.
And those guys are dorks.
Let's see here, what else we got? Yeah. That's so Vigilus.
Man, I can't wait to read this
I'm hyped.
myself. Yeah.
We have Samhain Eldar there. Again, they showed up. The Farseer had kind of decreed that this one person needed to be killed to stop this crazy thing from happening. They go to kill it. They're quite open. Like, hey man, how's it going? We're Eldar. We're trying to save the future here. And that's when the Ultramarines just open fire and like, foul Xeno scum, and just murdered a whole bunch of Eldar. They dragged their spirit stones back to the Webway. And that's where the Wake the Dead comes in. They come back with a bunch of Wraith hosts.
And they're like, no, fuck you, buddy.
No, fuck you, buddy. And the thing is, like, the Spirit Seers for Samhain did not get permission to use the Spirit Stones. He just started turning him into Wraiths. I'm like, now I'm going to fuck this guy up. So now you have a mad Eldar dude who split from the craft world, grabbed a bunch of ghost suits, and kind of went back to kind of fuck up the Ultramarines on this planet.
And hired a bunch of Cormorites to come and raid.
Yeah. And the's a bunch of Cormorites they're raiding. Yep. And they say it's the Cormorites were there anyway because they slave raided this planet because it's so densely populated.
Nobody misses a couple.
And it's so that the slave raids are super easy, and there's a Webway portal right there that they can use.
Oh man, that's nice.
But if we look in the book, there's a map of like what different forces are where, and there's like this massive Imperial section here, and this like growing Chaos section here, and little Genestealer cults everywhere, and there's a little itty bitty drop of Eldar, like so right in the middle there.
And then there's one whole continent that's more or less like taken over by Dark Eldar for slave raids.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite part about that map is actually the tiny green dot that says Orc Race Route.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
runs
they actually
around.
have like
they
a
marked
map,
up them.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like these are here be orcs. Just
And the armies use that to their advantage. They would drive their opponents towards orcs so that
Makes
they would
sense.
get fucked up. Again, using them as a force of nature like they should be. Like, no, I'm no longer so like, oh, we got a bunch of wagons. What the hell? That's all orcs got is a bunch of different wagons. But if you read this book and the direction they're going with the narrative and the way this game is going, it would make complete sense.
sure. So
Like the way orc psyches are designed and the way they've always been described before is they make what they need at the time. So if one of them starts saying, hey, we should race, then all of them will start thinking that, and they'll come up with these crazy different designs and do all these crazy things.
It's like groupthink made reality, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the orc experience.
Yeah,
Crowd-
I mean, yeah, there's the rumor that
crowdfunding through mind psychics.
Yeah, exactly.
there's a rumor the emperor is only alive because they think he's some kind of god who's alive.
Maybe.
I mean, we all know he's just dead, but I think
He's
that.
still so. Yeah, that's totally off.
I'm
topic.
not dead yet.
No. I fully believe he's completely body dead, but something is keeping his soul trapped in the body. So
Yeah,
they can
it's a
use it.
continent-sized factory
Right.
called the Golden Throne.
Right. But I mean, like, because in Dark Imperium, Guilliman talks about his meeting with the Emperor and how powerful the Emperor's psychic, presence still was. So
Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind
Talks
of.
about how much of a douche he was,
yeah,
too.
totally. He's like, wow, he's a douche.
Imagine if your screwdriver started talking back to you. The fuck, man. But that's where we're at with Vigilus. All these forces are kind of here and in the middle of the fight. We have a small chaos contingent here with promise of more chaos on the way. With Genestealer Cult being so active now and rising up, we have promise of Tyranids on the way as well.
Yeah.
Like kind of coming
Well,
in.
Premise of Tyranids, yeah.
Premise of Tyranids on the way. Like I said, I love the fact that every faction there has a good reason to be there.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
I can see them fitting in Necrons into this, too, by the way.
yeah.
So I totally thought the Forgebane box set took place on this planet, but
Well, here's the deal.
It's the last box set, last thing they released that did not involve Vigilus.
Sure.
So Necrons, all their stuff is made with Blackstone.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
So, and if the Mechanicus is mining Blackstone, that tells me there's Necrons there.
So, okay, check this out, too. Think about this. So they're mining, this planet is chock full of Blackstone, right? And it's somehow holding back the
Oh, you think there's a
Cicatrix?
Satan there?
No. I'm just saying, like, the reason that this whole planet is like a bridge between the Imperium Nihilus and the Greater Imperium is because the planet is full of Blackstone, so it's repelling the psychic energy from the warp storm.
Oh, and stupid ass Mechanicus is getting rid of it all and slowly closing the gap.
And that's why the maledictum was reflected in the cracks of the planet when they took it out.
Holy shit! Imperial Knights are on this planet too. I totally.
Oh, they are.
spaced.
Yeah, they have House Terran. I
They,
saw.
they talk about there's Imperial Fists and House Terran who are made to stand at like on a trench line firing. And the Knights are getting pissed off that they're having to stand. The Warhound Titans are getting pissed off that they have to stand. And every day they see bigger and bigger things coming. Like, one day it's boys, and then it's battle wagons, and then it's gargants, and then it's mega gargants. So there's a Titan Manipole and a bunch of Knight Titans and a bunch of Imperial Fists that decide to just fuck it. And they go off to just destroy the Orc City where all this crap's being made. And they kind of break orders with the company or with the planet. Because you're stupid.
I'm sure it didn't go as well as you think when you say good, Danny.
No, it did. They fucked it up
Oh, did they?
hardcore.
All right.
They were in the process of building a Mega Gargant, but when Warlords and Reavers and Warhounds and Knights show up, yeah, your town gets devastated pretty quickly. Unless there's one dude with a shitload of stick bombs.
and a Death Strike missile.
That's the other thing was, another thing that happened, reminded me, and this is why I'm like, did Vincent Notley co-write this? Because there's a lot of mentions of Death Strike missiles in this book. A planetary governor, or one of the planetary council guys, is described as being so rich he has this vault full of cool things, including 2 Death Strike missiles.
Ooh.
So the Genestealer cultists take over this vault.
Of course they do.
And they send a bunch of
Like you
cultists. They take one of the missiles and they just wheel it through the hive. They push it through the hive all the way to what can only be described as a Warlord Titan storage room.
Oh my god.
Which has 4 or 5 Warlord Titans in it. They detonate the warhead, killing all of them underneath a Warlord, but it kills like pretty much all of the Warlords of that world.
Oh man.
And there's like a single mechanic is weeping a tear of oil when he hears the explosion. But yeah, like I was like, that's crazy. And they sent so many Genestealer cultists because they kept on being killed pushing this Death Strike missile. So they just kind of kept on coming on and pushing them through.
Man, that's cool though.
Terrorists, man.
They are. They literally are.
But like reading this book, I was like, wow, shit, now I have to start a Genestealer cult army. No, stick with what you've got. And then I saw dirt bikes with sniper rifles and moon buggies.
I'm just saying, as far as Genestealer cults being juggalos, there's literally a dude with a hatchet driving a motorcycle. I feel like that is
Okay, what I want you to do
is paint all my guys like
Juggalos.
Yeah,
when the
That's pretty easy. It's just white face paint and
some black dots.
the strategist comes out, I want you to cut off and file down that map of Warhammer World. I want you to get a transfer of an album cover for ICP and put it on top of that little disc. Like he's spinning the tunes that makes the hive worth kind of living there.
Man, that's epic.
Do it. That's what needs to be done. But yeah, that's the story. There is a bunch of extra story in the book there about the different hives and the different conditions. There's a bunch of story about each individual army and why they're there and which companies are there. Like Danny said, there's about 50 companies of Space Marines. And that doesn't even count the demi companies of Space Marines that are there. There is a shitload of Space Marines here where if this planet was to be destroyed, I don't think the Imperium could recover at this point.
It'd be bad news for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like it would wipe out all existing Marines and just leave a shitload of Primaris.
There's a lot of Primaris Marines there too, though.
There's a lot of Primaris Marines there.
weird.
So they're just, I see them typing the book and be like, and then all the tactical Marines died.
The end.
The end.
GG.
GG.
So I mean, we've covered a ton, and by we I mean John, because he knows it. And Danny and I just kind of have little glimpses of it.
We just listen.
I stole the book when I saw you guys doing like the rules part. I'm like, give me a story.
All right. So this is a 200-page book.
Yes.
And there is 116 pages of just the fluff part before you get to anything else.
This is a huge book.
It is massive and just packed full of lore.
And they don't skip on any of it. Like I said, there's a page devoted to how they tell time in the Cicatrix or in a post-Cicatrix world. And it makes sense. I'm reading it. I'm sarcastically messaging like Danny and Dave. Be like, oh, they have words in their time now. But looking at it, it makes perfect sense. If I show up in a planet, the other side of the universe, and I want to know what day it is, then I'm like, oh, okay. That's when did this happen? And they're like, oh, 0.72, previo. And I'm like, okay, sweet. I know where I'm at. And especially because in the last books, they talk about how Gulliman was like, hey, y'all have like 40 different time and numbering and date systems. Which one's the best? And they're like, so all of them?
Because the warp.
So bureaucrats go to bureaucrat, and he's just like, all right, this is how we're doing it now.
Yep.
It took 4 years, $18 billion, and a 600-person committee to decide on the word previo.
Success.
But and Amy, I'm just touching the tip of the stories in this book.
Yeah, you're always just touching the tip.
And those are like just the ones that got me most hyped, and the rest of this book got me super hyped as well. From your guys' awesome coverage of the Formations 2.0, which is a term I fucking hate because they're not formations. Specialist attachments.
That's why I used that in. That's why I said.
From
are they Formations 2.0? No, they're not. Watch this and find out why.
Well, if you look at it, and this is kind of us going to like our super positive hard sell here, 116 pages of amazing fluff. Yeah. Where they talk about the armies that are there. They put in weird little things like mailing tubes killing people, but it makes sense.
Yep.
They add all this stuff. They have a fantastic narrative campaign system that when we saw this book literally stopped our narrative campaign in its tracks, Danny, because like, oh, wow, that's exactly what we were wanting to do.
Yes, seriously. Yeah. Like this would be such a better campaign.
Yeah.
Like
the narrative campaign system in this book is amazing.
Yep.
And then there's like 3 super solid specialist formations.
There's more than that.
There's more. There's a lot of good things in there. It's honestly a must buy for any kind of Warhammer player.
I think it's a must buy for everybody.
Yeah.
Even if you don't. Yeah.
Like we got sent a review copy and all of us have bought a copy. That's how stupid it is. Also, because we couldn't decide who got the review copy. But
right.
it's like I say, $50.
Oh yeah.
It's
150% worth it. Even if you don't have a specialist attachment, you don't need it for the rules. Get it for the narrative. Get it for the lore. I mean, if you like the Gathering Storm campaign books, the 1, 2, and 3 as they were happening, and telling the story of how Bobby G came back and, you know, Mortarion and everybody else, then you're going to really love. Well, it's not good radio to point at the book, Danny.
I know. Well, what I'm saying is that this is book 1. Like, it literally has a 1 on the spine.
And this is of the Imperium Nihilus series, which is about the Dark Imperium.
Yep.
I've been clamoring for 20 years for this narrative to move forward. This past 2 years, we've had some great advancement.
So
I'm so happy.
It's so good.
But yeah, I'm done with the hard sell. You should buy it. It's a fantastic book. Like I said. Yeah. So if I missed anything when this releases, it'll be release day. Go through the book. Let me know if I missed anything cool, story points or weird things that are pointed out.
You missed a lot, but
if Crimson Fist murdered other people than just innocent
Tell me about
bystanders,
it.
tell me about it.
Hashtag. I don't know. Dave sucks.
God damn it.
That's the go-to, man. I'm sorry.
Earl Hagen was a legend. In 1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into our hearts. Decades later, he made a comeback, lending those lustrous lips in the 1980s to such bands as the Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, and Pat Benatar. A half-century after his humble beginnings, he's at it again. This time without cumbersome musical accompaniment, he'll have you wetting your whistle and whistling along. His new album, Earl Whistles Disney, is sure to be a hit with all generations. Order now and receive a bonus album, Earl Whistles More Shit, a collection of previously unreleased material of Earl's favorite songs through the years. On this bonus album, he demonstrates his newly mastered technique of inward whistling. Order yours today on compact disc or double-length cassette. Also available at fine retailers such as Walgreens, CVS, and participating Sam Goody stores. Earl Whistles Disney. Buy it today.
And we're back. We're going to be hearing some more of Peter's dulcet tones next week.
I'm so excited.
When we do our Christmas spectacular.
Can't possibly be next week yet.
I know. We're
cruising on through.
We're cruising on through the December to remember.
Oh yeah, next week.
Next week is our Christmas episode.
I should start shopping.
We got to start. Also it's Christmas in like a week and a half, Dave. Time to buy your wife something. I hear she likes corn demons.
Hey, baby.
Are you selling some? Get them on discount. She likes discounted corn demons even more than she likes corn demons.
Next week we'll probably just bullshit a little bit like we usually do, and then we'll go on to our own kind of 40K Christmas stories. And I promise to play the 10-minute Christmas music loop behind the entire thing, as one person has requested, and I'm sure 30 people have asked me not to do. But yeah. If we were to do everything that everyone wanted, then we'd be popular.
Yeah, for real.
You've written your 40K Christmas audio story, right?
No, that will be done.
Do our radio drama. We were going to act out.
Are we recording Monday, right? So I'll be doing that Sunday evening.
Sounds good.
Yeah, as long as we get it done. And then we'll also be, like I said, playing some clips or some songs instead of ad breaks in that episode of Peter from NGC 40K's Frozen Horus Heresy parody, which is quite excellent. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, go see it now because that has a criminally low number of views. For as good as the songs are there.
For real.
Agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about all I have. Dave, you have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good. Go watch the video.
Yeah. Go watch the narrative one, though.
For sure.